Hey, this is Tony with Mountain Woodworking. Today we're going to be making a rectangle. This customer commissioned us to make an epoxy stand for a sea turtle sculpture using the ocean and driftwood as inspiration. As you can see, the prototype didn't really work out for us as there's a lot of lines in the epoxy and it's way darker than we wanted. But hey, who doesn't need a 20-pound paperweight? And with our prototype out of the way, we could start on the customer's build. First things first, cutting some wood. Now, with the completely necessary chainsaw montage out of the way, we could begin by placing the pieces in the mold and pour the epoxy. This process took us approximately 3 weeks, pouring close to 40 gallons of epoxy roughly every 8 hours. We used a pressure chamber to remove as much of the residual air bubbles in the epoxy as possible. We were able to pressure chamber about 3 gallons at a time. It took anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to get all the bubbles out. Imagine pouring soda into a cup versus pouring water into a cup. That's about the difference that the pressure chamber makes when pouring this epoxy. It's insane how much bubbles it takes out. Outside of bubbles, one of our main concerns was that the epoxy was going to cure too dark. As you can see, the epoxy we're pouring is pretty clear, but as it started to build up, we started to get pretty worried about the color. But we were already committed, so we just kept on pouring. At this point, as you can imagine, we were sweating about the color. We were certain that it was going to be way too dark. But again, we were already committed, so we just kept on pouring. And finally, the moment we were all waiting for, we were so eager to get this thing out of the mold, again, for certain that it was going to be way too dark. But I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. And that's it. It's ready for the customer's house. No sanding needed. I wish that was the case, but we actually sanded this thing down all the way to 80 grit, working our way back up to 4,000 grit, getting the edges smooth and making sure that this piece is as perfect as we can possibly make it. We followed it up with the buffing process, using 3 different compounds on every side of the piece. And just because, here's a buffing montage. Okay, so seriously this time, it's ready for the customer's house. And I know you guys are curious. So, it weighed around 165 pounds. All said and done, we were really pleased with the way this piece turned out. As you know, we were a little worried on the journey, but pretty happy with the destination. If you made it this far into the video, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. We really appreciate you watching our video, and we're also curious to know what you think about this piece, so please let us know down below. And again, thanks for watching. See ya!